This is the Chrissy Swan Show.
Please don't prove I'm right, huh? Barry Keoghan, single.
With his little piggy eyes.
You're listening to the Chrissy Swan Show on Nova. Let's go clicking.
Chrissy's Clickbait.
Well, finally some closure. We can all cancel our appointments with our therapists because chief among our concerns was what is going on with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I know. Like, neither of them have made statements. We know that they have both. Well, he's definitely got a new pad.
Yes.
He's moved out.
Yes, and she has. But then, just when we thought that we knew what was happening, they spend 5 hours at each other's houses. And then she's going shopping with his kids. I still can't work it out.
Maybe they were having breakup.
Maybe they were signing the documents because J-Lo has pulled the trigger on the divorce to Ben Affleck. And I just want to make sure that everyone's okay. Because when they got together, I mean, the genesis of their love was so magical. The journey that we all went on.
Yeah.
They were a couple. They were the first couple that had a one-word name. Bennifer, right? So that's how long they've known each other. We loved them then. It didn't work. Too much scrutiny.
Yeah.
And then he went on and married, and she went on and married, then went and had kids. And then the hope of all hopes, they got back together and got married. And guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work.
No.
And it didn't work quite quickly. It just makes you feel, I'm sure I'm not the only one that looks at that and thinks, well, does love exist? The romance is dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
go.
No, I think I think they just got a bit excited, and I think maybe they bought into that narrative. Like, you would be so excited after a few maybe like dates back together, being like, oh my God, this is going to work again. We're going to be loved by the public. Like, they would have started to romanticize this again for themselves.
And also, I think maybe an element was that they felt young again. They were looking at the person that loved them when they were young, and it made them feel like that person again,
and then,
which must be intoxicating.
It would. And then Ben realised just how truly insufferable she actually is and legged it.
It feels sort of mean, though, to file it on their second-year anniversary.
That's so J-Lo, though. That is so J-Lo.
You're just not a fan, are you?
Nah. I mean, she has a newsletter, Swan, called On the J-Lo or On the Six or something. Like, it's 2024, mate. Do a tweet or an Instagram story if you want to communicate with your fans. You don't need to create a newsletter.
Oh, you are savage. Now, next story. The world's oldest person has passed away. Vale Maria Branyas Morera.
Beautiful name. How old was she?
117.
17?
Which is exactly how old I feel most days.
The Chrissy Swan Show. The Chrissy Swan Show.
Let's do this.
Chrissy's Clickbait.
God, plot thickens with the publicity surrounding Blake Lively's new film that everyone's seeing. It's called It Ends With Us. And it deals with domestic violence. And you may remember that we were talking last week about there was friction between her and her co-star, who's also the director of the film, Justin Baldoni. And we revealed through private sources that he had hired a crisis publicist.
Yes.
And what crisis publicists do is that they make you look good and they make everyone else look bad. And my God, they are working overtime.
Swanee, over the weekend, because I was so aware of it because you and I discussed this.
Yeah.
There were 3 back-to-back articles on the Daily Mail with just negative stories about Blake, but they weren't current negative stories. They were digging stuff up from 15 years ago. So, I mean, the PR crisis manager he hired is doing their job for Baldoni.
I know, but it's very naughty.
Oh, it's vicious, and I will back Blake to the cows come home.
It's very vicious, and you are not the only one that will back Blake. Another guy that's in the film, his name is Brandon Sklenar. He has had to issue a statement because he's obviously noticed what you noticed, all this bad publicity. And he just says, it's a very long statement. But he says, vilifying the women who put so much of their heart and soul into making this film because they believe so strongly in its message seems counterproductive and detracts from what this film is about. Lead with love and please be kind.
Absolutely.
You know it's bad when your mates have got to step in.
Leave Blake alone.
Now, Alicia Silverstone, one of the greats. Remember that story where she would chew her food and then spit it out into her son's mouth like a bird?
No.
Yeah.
When was that?
She's when her son was a baby.
That is rank.
That's her.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, well, it is a thing for Alicia Silverstone, star of Clueless, of course. She has been, she's filmed herself walking around the streets of London, eating random stuff out of people's gardens. Have a listen.
So what the heck is this? Because when you open it up, it looks like that. And if I bite it, I don't think you're supposed to eat this. But it's almost like a pepper. Does anyone know what this is? I don't know what it is. I need someone to tell me. I'm in England. Okay, thank you.
Is she cooked?
No, she's like a full vegan,
hippie
that's
vibe.
very her to forage and eat what's on the street.
Got it.
But she probably shouldn't have eaten that because that is in fact a deadly nightshade that can be fatal to human beings and animals. And
What?
she's really eaten it. Don't worry, she has survived. She's posted that she's fine, a glamorous photograph and that she survived. But everybody was like, don't eat that! Don't eat it!
Wow. I mean, that's one way to go viral. Try to die.
Exactly. Speaking of eating stuff that you find, Erin Patterson,
The mushroom gal.
the mushroom gal, there's an update here. She is having her court case heard in regional Victoria.
They really listened to her request to head out to, is it Morwell?
They're keeping it local.
Wow.
How's she going to get a fair trial? How?
Right.
How? Who in anywhere in Victoria doesn't know everything there is to know about that beef Wellington?
Like, come on. And also poor Alan Raskell and stuff having to head down to Morwell to cover it, all the journos. That's us done. Ricky Lee, Tim and Joel are up next. We'll be back at 2 tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Now check this out.
The Chrissy Swan Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.